Small case. I'll tell you another interesting case. You remember this guy called Veteran? Unforgettable. And he has a record. Again, a very good, very close friend. 13 years BTech program. It's not possible now, sorry. Chemical engineering. But you might ask what he was doing. He was really pushing the limits on some other front. He was very, very good in economics and psychology because he had a passion for economics and psychology to the extent that some of the professors used to say, this guy knows more than many professors. He just gorged on economics and psychology. Of course, sometime when he entered the logical 4th year, I hope you understand, physical must have been 11th year. Okay. He said, okay, I like chemical engineering. And then, of course, it was a different story. He did exceedingly well. So it's a question of somebody striking a passion. Okay, you got these ideas. What are these guys doing? Many of them were pushing the limits. This guy, Veteran, was pushing the limits at that time. Okay? Except that it was in a different direction for quite some time. I gave you these examples so that you appreciate there are many aspects in which you can learn to push the limits. You have to prioritize. And here I'm going to take you through a small exercise which you do by yourself. Okay? Just some points. There are some dimensions I would like you to answer questions for yourself. What are the limits you want to push in your career? Number one dimension, career. I'll give you an example. I chose this profession. I chose to become a teacher. 3rd year in engineering, I decided it is teaching and research for me. And I stuck to it. I come from a business family. I had to tell my father, I'll have nothing to do with your business. I want this career. And there are many reasons, which I've always shared. 2 of them, one is amusing, one is genuine. You always see young, new people every year. Okay? You don't keep seeing the same faces again and again. Forget the other ones, like you're always learning, gaining knowledge, etc. They are all there. The amusing thing is, no other career gives you 2 months paid vacation in summer. Any other career, David? Nothing else. Okay. And we earn enough. Happy, no problems, campus life. I dread the day I will retire. Okay. So career. What are the limits for you in your career? Which limits do you want to push? Because for many of you first years, I can tell you there are going to be a lot of dilemmas. There are going to be a lot of dilemmas about why are you doing what you're doing. And believe me, I've had too many friends among the BTechs over the years. And many of them have come and said, sir, I don't know why I am doing this. Honestly, they've come and they've been sort of tormented by that question. Why am I doing this? And of course, one answer that comes to them very straight is, Appa sona hai. Father pushed me into it. Mother pushed me into it. Uncle pushed me into it. In fact, I wanted to point out some very interesting folk. We have one of the finest known Indian poets who did his BTech here, or not complete, Vijay Nambisa. He is well known as a poet. Prasanna, the guitarist, who's now on the covers of almost every jazz magazine you can think of. He did his BTech here, naval architecture. In fact, in this case, I used to narrate always. The first meeting in music room of IIT, I told him, Prasanna, young man, 4 years later, you're going to have a serious problem. He did his BTech project with me. 4 years later, he came. He said, LSG, I have a serious problem. What is it? What should I do? I said, Goddess Saraswati is in you, go to music. Because he was so brilliant in music. I said, you will never be a good engineer, forget it. You will be a brilliant musician. But of course, going to music means tremendous risk. But now, absolutely no problems. He's won the world in many ways. There are so many students I can tell you like that. I can go on giving examples, that's not my idea. One person who was your contemporary, Anand Kasturi, civil engineering. Now he's one of the well-known trainers in Bangalore, most sought-after trainers, corporate trainers in Bangalore. I think even then he was a very happy guy. He's happier now. There are lots of people who found that switch which would give them fulfillment. That's a challenge for all of you. That's why I said, career, what do you want? I can give you examples because Alumni Association, we know so many exceptional cases. So many of them. Many of them are doing very well in engineering. Trust me. Many of them are doing exceedingly well in engineering. Who's that campus time? Thomas Taru. You know Thomas Taru. Alumnus. He said engineering. First-rate engineer. His passion is engineering. Excellent designer. There's so many people like that. One of my friends, Nitish Kati, is one of the well-known figures in the world of industrial automation and robotics. So there are so many chaps who have done exceedingly well. But they identified, prioritized where they want to push. And that's a challenge for all of you. Prioritize. But that only you can do. Some of us can assist you in that journey. But the journey has to be made by you guys. Okay? Career. Second, relationships. Just sit by yourself, note down what are your limitations in relationships. What are your limitations in relationships? I'm sure many of us have limitations. Okay? Many of us have limitations in striking relationships, building relationships, sustaining relationships, consolidating relationships. There's so many problems we have. Relationships doesn't mean only with people, with so many things. For some of us, even relating to nature is a relationship. Some of us don't have that sensitivity of watching a flower bloom beautifully. You need that sensitivity. Just go by the lakeside and it's beautiful to watch the flower bloom. Some of us have to have the sensitivity to watch monkeys enter your room. You know. So there are so many things which you have to relate to. So relationships. Career, relationship. I'm giving you a simple framework where you can test yourself. What are my limits in the career? Okay. Third, financial status. What do you want to be? That's very clear. Okay. You have to be clear about what you want to be in terms of financial status. Talking of some basic stuff in life. What do you want to be in your career? What do you want to be in terms of your relationships? What kind of a financial status you want? Health. Personal, physical, mental health. You'll quickly understand why I'm giving you these dimensions. Because one of the great challenges for you at the individual level is to balance these things. Boss, you try to pursue one, you're not doing the other. Don't forget that. I used to tell, right now, I'm talking to you, I'm not with my family. Understand that. So it's opportunity foregone. So please understand this hard truth. That is one of the reasons I keep telling students, please extract every moment that you are living in IIT, because the day you take your degree, it's inevitable that you will share with your friends, hey, Machan, looks like yesterday. Inevitably, every student has said this. Trust me. Sir, just looks like we joined yesterday, sir. And we are gone with a degree. Now, I hope you are understanding the weight of what I am telling you. Please, extract every moment of your life in IIT. You won't get it back. Time doesn't run backwards. At least in the world we know. That's why I said prioritize. Health, personal health. I've not done very well on that. I can tell you that.